Joining us today, special guest Mr. Timothy Johnson, competing June 25th for the inaugural Bellator World Championship. How are you doing today, Mr. Johnson?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Good. So, how's the day been so far? It looks like you were busy training. I see we got a little cut over the eye, but it looks like it's healing well.
Yeah, that it is. That's part of the game. If you're not getting some bumps and bruises, then you're not training hard enough. Is the way I look at it.
Awesome. So, the first question I have for you, you return, is for the interim championship. So you have to talk to me a little bit. You're the first person to ever compete. You're pretty much fighting for history here. So how does that, is that sunk in a little bit yet?
No, not too much. I was also the first person to, one of the first people to fight in France too. So, that's, it's just part of the game, I guess. The being an interim, it still means a lot. Winning this will mean a lot, but there's still one more hurdle to get over even after winning this one.
Yes. So of course I had to ask you about your opponent coming June 25th. I just want to ask you, where does he rank on your list of opponents that you faced throughout your tremendous career? You have a lot of professional fights that many fighters can't say today.
I'd probably say he's probably top three, top four of names. I guess he's still he's 29. And he's a heavyweight. That's ridiculously young, and he's just a little tank that keeps coming forward. And it doesn't hurt that he's on Team Fedor.
Yeah, for sure. So I see we're training out of Extreme Couture. How long have you actually been down there?
I moved out here after my first Cheick Kongo fight. So I've been out here about 2.5 years now.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, because I've talked to a lot of athletes out of the gym, and they say that gym really makes you the best version of yourself. Can you say the same for yourself as well?
Oh, absolutely. Coaches, I had some great coaches up there in Fargo. But the biggest thing that I ran into was just bodies. I didn't have enough big bodies consistently. So I finally made the move, and you can have great coaching, but at the same time, I'm kind of on the philosophy that iron sharpens iron. It's all about your practice partners.
Yeah, so I don't think it gets any better than this. You're training with the heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Francis Ngannou. So talk to me about
Yeah.
training with one of the most deadliest men on the planet.
Yeah, I've been training with Francis for the last couple of years, basically since I first actually moved out here, and he started coming in periodically. And yeah, I've been working a lot on him. I like to think some of the takedown defenses I might have a little something to do with that. But yeah, no, it's a fight every time you're in with them, and it's a confidence booster because you know that you're never going to get a hit as hard in a fight as you get hit in practice.
Yeah, 100%. Practice is what makes you the best version of yourself, because a lot of people, I guess, they don't see that part of you. There's training, but then there's fighting. They don't really see that other
Yeah.
side of MMA. But I don't know if you just saw, I just posted a thing about the Werdum turnover. Did you watch that PFL fight at all?
Oh no, I didn't. I caught the highlight of it.
Okay.
And yeah, I didn't catch the fights. I had a lot of teammates fighting out there for the past like 3 weeks,
Hmm.
and yeah, not gonna name any names, but I don't think there's a lot of people very happy with some of the refereeing out there.
Yeah, for sure. I believe it was Keith Peterson that did that, no?
Yeah,
Or
I or I couldn't. I didn't even know who the rep was, but that was rewatching it. I'm like, that seemed a little blatant of a light tap.
light tap. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to see because referees, they're on the spot there, but he was on the opposite side, so it's a little bit
yeah,
tough to see.
yeah.
But
No, absolutely. And I know I don't want to be a ref.
yeah,
It's there's a lot of stuff that they don't catch, and it's just like any other sport. They're not going to see everything, and it just sucks that this sport is a little it hits you a little harder if things are missed.
yeah, 100%. So it is tough being a referee, but I know you balance. You were a combat veteran, so talk to me a little bit about that experience. I know that definitely made you tougher because that's not an easy thing to do. So can you talk to me a little bit about that experience for yourself?
Yeah, well, actually, so I did 10 years in the Minnesota Guard, and I took about 4.5 years off. And this last November, I actually rejoined the Guard, so I was back. So I'm back in now, and I just take it into fighting. It was really easy. Once you do something else, it's easy to comprehend. Fighting is not as hard. Like
Hmm.
fighting's not as hard as driving down a road in Iraq looking for an IED. It puts things
Yeah,
in
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you think well, obviously you just mentioned, but that experience that you had being a combat veteran, do you really think that played into your experience as a professional athlete now?
I think eventually, yeah, my deployment kind of grew me up a little bit. Like, I think when I was deployed, I was 3, 10. I think I was like 26 years old, something like that, 25, somewhere
Hmm.
around there. And at the time, I still didn't think I was that immature, but I really was. And so, deployment kind of grew you up, refocused, and just kind of put things a little more. You kind of see the world a little differently.
Yeah, so I always find it interesting talking to veterans and things like that. But there has to be that one experience that you'll probably never ever forget, no matter what happens. So, what would that experience for you be?
I think we were driving through a crowded area, and someone's tire blew. It was like our first 2 weeks in country in Iraq, and I was
Hmm.
like up in the turret, and it just blew, and I just like that, like I think
Yeah.
I think that one would definitely stick with me. And then I realized it was just a blown tire. I felt pretty stupid.
That
Yeah,
had to give you a
uh,
little shock there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, and something else that I saw going through your Instagram, this is one of the last ones I have for you. I know you have a busy day,
Yeah.
but you said something like you didn't create the mustache, but you really started that trend up again. That was a while back. I see we
Yeah.
got the beard going now. Are we looking at keeping that for the next one coming up?
Now I got to be clean shaven again now that I'm back in the guard, back in the
I see, I
military.
see.
So I might bring the mustache back. I don't know. Probably not. I just kind of did that to stick out right away, and that was back in, I came out. That was my first UFC fight in 2015, April 15, I think. So I came out with this, military mustache, and then like 2, 3 years later, everyone starts coming out with mustaches. I'm like, hey, come on now, everyone's stealing my
Yeah.
role.
We got to
Yeah.
give you your props for that.
Yeah, yeah, I was getting my Dan Severn on.
That's awesome. So this last one before I let you go, what can we expect from you coming June 25th when you're fighting for that interim championship for Bellator?
I think you probably expect a lot of the same. I'm not gonna, I'm not reinventing the wheel. That's for dang sure. I'm gonna kind of stick with what goes on, and I'm putting in a lot more road work since this is a potentially 25-minute fight. And there's one thing I hate I'm pretty sure there's something I hate worse than fighting 15 minutes. That's fighting 25.